Hi everybody. So, I'm sitting on a concrete block on the floor of my shop, getting ready to pull a bunch of little hooks and staples and things out of the underside of my bench top because, well, okay, so I built this workbench, wow, a long time ago. I don't even know, probably somewhere between 10 and 15 years ago, probably more like 15, because I've been woodworking for 25, and I don't know, maybe it was even before that. But I used to use this. It's a bunch of newspapers just clipped together with binder clips. I would use this as a disposable backer for when I was using the spray adhesive. So I'd hold the pattern with tweezers like this, and I'd use the spray adhesive, and the overspray would go onto this sheet of newspaper, and then when it gets all yucky, I just tear that one off and there's a new one behind it. This area is going to have a new purpose. And so I've got to clean up all these little things. I suppose I don't have to, but I'm going to, because it's kind of one of my new things that I'm trying to do in my shop and my life, which is not be such a slob. Clean as you go, purge, get rid of stuff you're not using. I'm feeling that. I think it's a genuine feeling, that people have, that where you just want to, clean up your life a little bit and make things better and easier and healthier and all that kind of stuff. I built a crosscut sled, and I had to, I'll show you in a minute what that is if you don't know. I had to go on YouTube and watch all the videos on how to build a crosscut sled and decide which one was best for me or which features were best for me. And I saved a bunch of them into a playlist, and then I watched them over again and whittled down what I was going to do and all that kind of stuff. And I think I did pretty well. The most important thing is I got it square, because crosscut sled is a jig that you use to make cuts on the table saw that are perfectly square. The board is long like this, and you're cutting it across the width of the board, and obviously it's important that it be as perfectly square as you can make it. All right, let me show it to you. Oh yeah, that's the back side. That's the side that you push, and this is the front side that goes on first. And obviously it slides across here, and the blade goes right through here, and you can line up, you can set I've got this track up here where you can put a stop there so that you can make repeated cuts. It's about being able to cross cut really square and really easy and safely also. It is a very safe device to use. So, but it's big. It's 24 inches by 36. Yeah, 36 inches. It's 2 feet by 3 feet, and I don't have a lot of wall space left. And I wanted it kind of close and everything, and so I'm going to figure out a way to hang it right in here. I always want to talk about balance. That's kind of my purpose. Well, not my main purpose of this channel, but it's let's call it a theme. It's one of the themes of my channel. So what I'm going to do is make sure that when I get this thing hung, that it's balanced. Okay, that was cheesy, but whatever. The main one that I watched on YouTube that I really liked the most, and had the most things about it that were going to work for me and that I liked. It's a guy named his channel's name is Bourbon Moth. His is purely a woodworking channel. He's really funny. He's always doing, you know, visual gags and stuff like that when he comes into the frame, you know, when he comes into the scene of the camera or whatever. He always comes running in slides or does something, you know, real active to you know, get your attention and stuff, which is good. You know, made a few modifications to it for myself, you know, that are like, okay, but I want this way or whatever, you know, and designed my sled. And I did this yesterday. I built that sled over the last 2 days. I started out, you know, on Friday. Today is Sunday. I started out on Friday and then spent a lot of time yesterday working on it. And it's not completely done, but it's mostly done. It's usable at the moment. I still have a few things that I need to add to it and do to it. After I got done and I, you know, cleaned up and I went upstairs and, you know, sat down and I was looking at my notifications and everything, and there was a notification from that same channel from Bourbon Moth about a Crosscut Sled that had just come out in the last 14 hours. And I looked at it, and he bought a new table saw, and so his other Crosscut Sled wasn't going to work with it anymore because you know, it's different. The runners are in different spots or whatever. And so he had to, you know, build a new one, and he built this like super fancy one, and it's really pretty. It's a really, really nice sled. And he was talking about how he was just going to hang it on the wall and not use it because it was so pretty and everything. And I agree. It was very nice looking. It was funny because I was sitting here watching it. I just got done building mine, you know, based on the one that he had before. The one that he had, you know, done, I don't know how long ago it was. I think it was maybe a couple years ago or 2 or 3 years ago or something when he did this other Crosscut Sled. But he made a brand new one the same day that I was, or he put out the video anyway, the same day that I was making my brand new one. So yeah, it was a little ironical. But I'm still working on my coffee from this morning. I had to have 2 cups today. I'm gonna put like a dowel 7 inches away on each side from the center. So I'll drill these pegs into my bench, which by the way is massive. I don't know if you can see this, but this is it's really thick. Oak, about 1.25 inches. And this was, you know, from a pattern that I saw in one of my woodworking magazines or whatever, or a plan, I should say, not a pattern. And it has worked really well. The top is, there's an open space, first of all. So there's this, you know, part, and on the other side there's drawers. There's 9 drawers, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 3 by 3. And I cut the front of the drawers. Ooh, let me show you that. You know, this was all one sheet, and I cut the 9 drawers and kept them in order so that, you know, it all matched and each drawer flowed right into the next and everything. So that was kind of cool. I thought that was a fun way to do it. And then, if you can see right in there, it's open through to the other side. Underneath there, I think it's about 4 inches or maybe 5 or something like that. And then this top is 2 sheets of plywood and then a 1/4 inch left over. You can see right there, see that hole? That's the plywood underneath, and you use a 1/4 inch sheet of hardboard. And the purpose of that being that, you know, it ends up being flush. You have this oak side a 1/4 inch higher than the plywood that it's, you know, that it's wrapped around. And then the 1/4 inch piece of hardboard just fits in the top and makes a flat surface. And, you know, you can do whatever you want to it. When you're, you know, routing something on the top and it goes through and cuts into the hardboard, you know, when that gets all messed up with stain and dies and gets cut into 1,000 times, and there's glue dripped on it, and all of that stuff. And you can flip it over and use the other side until it's destroyed, and then you just chuck it and you cut a new sheet and put it in there, and you've got a new surface on the top. And it's a very inexpensive way to replace your surface, and it's you get that really nice feeling when you cut it. You get rid of the old one and you cut a new sheet and fit it all in there and everything, and you put it down, and it's all brand new looking and everything, and it looks like a whole new workbench. Everything else is exactly the same, of course, but most of what I see is just the top, most of the time. And so I feel like I've got a brand new workbench every few years when I replace that. Oh, this will be perfect. I use this all the time. I bought a couple of these, and because you're always needing to draw circles or curves, like a corner, like where you need to round over a corner or something like that, and then also oh, this is this big, I need the drill bit for it, and so I got to find out how big it is, just like what I'm about to do here. So yeah, it's 5/8 basically, and I will use a Forstner bit because they make a nice round flat bottom hole. So then just make a little hole right there to start off the drill bit, and another one there with my hammer that I made, my Thor hammer. Alright. Oh yeah, that's gonna be perfect. Okay. Ha! Guess what? I'm gonna use the Crosscut Sled to cut a piece for the Crosscut Sled, to hang the crosscuts. I'm gonna drill this other hole first. Maybe I should enter like the bourbon mock guy. He always comes in like this. I plugged the saw in because you have to have electricity, unfortunately. It doesn't slide quite as smooth as I would like it to, but it's perfectly usable. Let's cut these things. Enough time. Cool. 2 4-inch dowels that are exactly the same size. So I'm just gonna put some glue in there and do it up. Sometimes I use glue brushes depending on what I'm doing, but this is not one of those times. Pinky. I pinky swear that next time I'll use a glue brush. Okay. Whoosh. Boom, 2 points. All right. See, you never know if I actually made it or not. But I did. Now, where's that hammer? Thor's hammer! I should just be able to hold out my hand and have it come to me, but I didn't build that into the design. So now I just got to drill holes that are significantly bigger than that. Let's see. That was 5/8, so maybe I'll go with like 7/8. I'll just do an inch. Here we go. I think I'm through. Yes. Okay. Good. Awesome. Okay, I promise I'm gonna clean this up, but for now. Of course, I had the camera in the wrong place, so let's pretend this is the first time I did this. Here it goes. Oh yeah. That's fantastic. This is just one tiny example of what I've been trying to do in this shop since I have retired and started, you know, full-time woodworking. I shouldn't be full-time doing anything. And besides, it doesn't pay benefits. Trying to reorganize, make my workflow a lot better, and more efficient, but also cleaner, healthier, safer, all of those things. I'm, you know, trying to run my dust collection all the time, no matter, even if I'm only making 1 or 2 cuts. And I do have an air cleaner in my shop that hangs from the ceiling that I, you know, turn on. It does really well. If I have fine dust floating around in the air or whatever, I can kick that on, and in, you know, less than like 3 minutes or whatever, usually I can see clearly across the shop again. You know, one more step towards a much more efficient shop. To put it in the theme of balance, this is me balancing out my woodworking life. I have been out of balance for a long time, in the sense that I would come down and do projects and work, and it was always, you know, a couple hours after work, or, you know, a weekend day that nothing was going on, I might come down here and work all day. And that's how it's been for the last, you know, 25 years or whatever that I've been doing this as a hobby. And now that I'm doing it, you know, 4, 5, 6 hours every day on weekdays, and even some days sometimes on the weekends. Well, my battery died in the middle of that little speech, which is probably a sign from God that I need to shut up. What I was trying to say with all of that, where I was only working a couple hours a day or whatever, I would try to maximize that time with woodworking, and most of the time I wasn't spending any time cleaning or, you know, hooking up dust collection, doing things to keep myself healthy, wanted to get the projects done. And so all of the time that I had was spent towards that goal, towards getting the project done, whatever that might be, and not very much time maintaining tools, which is necessary, cleaning the shop, which is definitely necessary, and being, you know, more efficient, building things and making things that help me be more efficient, revamping things when they need revamped, when things change. And the type of woodworking I do has, you know, changed over the years, but my shop barely has, and it needs to, you know, change also. So it's, you know, again, leaning one way or the other, and now I'm trying to, you know, do things to find that balance, to get back to level ground, I guess. Since I talked about in that first video that I made about trying to be on YouTube more, my spaz video, that's the one. I talked about the yin yang symbol, and, you know, that I really like it, and that it means a lot to me. Not in an Eastern religion kind of way. I don't. It's not like I'm, you know, gonna become a Buddhist or something like that. Not that there's anything wrong with that. But, you know, that's not me. But a lot of the principles of those religions are very sound. They're very, very good principles. So, you know, I take some of that stuff and apply it to my own life. The biggest of which being that there needs to be balance. There needs to be, you know, life is cyclical. And, you know, if you've ever had your tires changed, what happens is they put the, you know, wheel on they mount it to something that allows it to spin freely. and inevitably there's, you know, one point on the wheel that's heavier than the rest of the points, and that point ends up being at the bottom and swinging to the bottom like that. And so what they do is they put weights on the other side. They attach them. If you ever looked at your car wheel, there's probably little weights around the edge of the rim, because they needed to counterbalance that to make sure that it spins correct, you know, evenly all around. Perfect example. The yin yang symbol is a wheel. It's a circle, and it needs to be able to spin freely. It needs to be not lopsided, you know, because things get out of whack. like the wheel on the shopping cart. Anyway, hopefully more to come soon, and I'm gonna keep, every time I do a big project like this, I'll try to make another video. I do still have a drum cover that I'm working on that is going to be coming out pretty soon, in the next couple weeks, I hope. Oh, and the yin yang thing, one of the things I wanted to talk about is I'm going to try and make a intro. You know how like a lot of YouTube channels, they have like a, you know, some sort of little intro video that they play that, you know, says the name of their channel or something like that. And I'm going to try and make one of those and incorporate the yin yang into it. So anyway, hopefully if I can get that figured out, look for that soon. Okay, I'm gonna go. You guys have a great day. Bye.